This is another episode of the Peak Signing Agents podcast, YouTube, wherever you're on. I appreciate you coming on. I'm DVO Derek Van Otten. I'm helping you become the peak notary signing agent you are meant to be. And I just thought I'd share a story with you. I recently talked with, I talked to a notary that's local to my area. In fact, when she started as a signing agent, I believe a year or two ago in my state, she reached out. She had some questions. I helped her out, and now it's not as busy anymore. So she went and got a job in the finance world. I think actually in mortgages. And her son wants to become a signing agent. So she said, "All right, great. Reach out to Derek." And so I said, "Okay, wonderful. I'll be happy to help him. Make sure he joins our Facebook group for local notaries, and make sure he gets on my podcast or YouTube channel and watches me there, and then takes a course like the loan signing system, and then once he starts getting those things in order, then have him reach out to me, and then I'll help him kind of guide him where to go. I'll be happy to help you guys out." And so I haven't heard much from them, but anyway, she reached out to me recently and just said, "Hey, my son wants to get a mobile office set up. What scanner, what printer do you recommend?" And so I said, let me call you. Let's talk on the phone. Let's make sure we're on the same page here, because I just want to make sure that if you are getting a mobile office, you do it the right way and it makes sense. So that's what we're talking about today. When does it make sense to get a mobile office? Okay. Now, when I started, I had seen a few videos of notaries that had mobile offices, and I liked that idea. But I didn't really want to hardwire it into my vehicle, and I didn't want to really carry one of those big batteries to power the equipment with and have to pull it out and charge it. Even though I wasn't opposed to it, I just wasn't feeling it yet. Maybe because it didn't make sense at the time. And then things got a little busy. And I've talked about this way early in the podcast. So, if you're kind of newer or you haven't watched or listened since the beginning, I'll just kind of do a quick recap. Anyway, things got real busy, and a lot of signing services want scans, and I thought maybe I'll get a little mobile scanner. Anyway, I didn't like that mobile scanner. That little tiny one was like a shape of a brick. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Not too pricey, and it has a internal battery as well. It kept jamming up. I didn't like that at all. So anyway, I thought what would be great is, because I was constantly traveling to other counties, and I had to drive far away home to scan and print new documents, and I thought it'd be nice to have an office somewhere central. So where I live in Salt Lake, and it's kind of like a valley, and I found an office location kind of central in the valley, and I thought this will be great, because then I can it's right off the freeway. I can pull over, I can print, I can scan, I can get back on the road. If someone said, "Hey, I don't want you coming over to my house, is there somewhere we can meet?" I say, "Yeah, come to my office," and that just worked out really well until COVID hit. And when we were very busy as signing agents, COVID hit, and I couldn't get into my office. They closed it down. Somebody got COVID, they had to shut it down. And I thought, man, this is a pain. What if I could always have my office with me? And that's when the gear started turning, and I decided I'm getting the mobile office. So I bought the mobile office that I'm currently recording in, and I got it customized, and I got my equipment set up. And it just made sense to me because I pick up so many last minute signings. It brings so much value to my clients where I can do scans on the go. If there's updates to documents, I can do it. If the signer isn't in place where we just can't sign at their house, they can hop in. And I just recently had that with one of my clients where she goes, "Hey, can you meet him at his work? He's got a very small window for a break." I said, "Yeah, absolutely. Give me the address." I couldn't get a hold of the person, but they got the time set up. I head over there. He comes out of his work. He works in a warehouse, and he's got all his gear on. And he's like, "Where do we sign?" Because we're in the lobby, and there's not a place in the lobby. I'm like, "Come outside and hop in." And I took a picture and I sent it to my client. She's like, "That is so cool." Anyway, it just brings value. Anyway, it's so worth it to me. But is it worth it to you? That's what you have to ask yourself. Is it worth it to you? Again, I pick up so many last minute signings, it pays for itself. So. And it also brings a lot of convenience to me. I have a lot of convenience knowing that I don't have to be tethered too close to my home, because I kind of felt like I couldn't be too far away from home sometimes, because I was going to get something come in. I wanted the job. I wanted to get paid. So I was like, well, I can't do this today. Maybe I'll do it on the weekend because I don't want to be too far from home, and because I have to run back home and print. But now I feel like I have so much more freedom to do that. Like I can run to the store. I can do, and obviously I'm at a place now where I run a signing service, so I'm not doing as many signings, and I have a scheduler that can man the computer for me, which is also very helpful. But sometimes it's nice that I can just kind of work back here. I can just come in the back and work. I can print, I can scan, I can sign. It's just convenient. There's a lot of convenience that's worth it to me. But I was telling this lady that called me and talking about her son. I said, well, she's like, well, it's Black Friday. Maybe there's some sales going on that he can take advantage of. And I said, well, I get that. And they asked, are there all-in-one? I said, yeah, there are. There are some scanners and printers all-in-one that are laser. And just so you know, they're not as fast. The standalone printers print so fast. The standalone scanners, they scan so fast. But the all-in-ones, they've got all this equipment, all this capabilities jam-packed into one device, one machine, and it's just a little slower. It's just a little slower because you don't want this huge machine. So they cram all this capabilities in this machine, and it just makes things slower. It scans slower, it prints slower. So I say, just keep that in mind, though. Just know it's going to move a little slower if you get the all-in-one. But I understand the convenience of that, too. I understand the convenience of having just one. But I also understand the convenience of being able to do everything much faster, too, to have standalones. So I said, listen. Your son is just starting. I appreciate the hustle that he wants to get everything. I get that. I understand that. I appreciate that. I like it. I like it, okay? I like the moxie of it. That this young man wants to go out and get everything and get ready to go gung-ho. I like it. And I don't know his work ethic, so I don't like prejudging either. Like, hey, this guy's not going to, I don't want to prejudge and say he's not going to do the work necessary to be that busy. I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying, do what makes sense. Is he getting a lot of signings? Well, he's not quite commissioned yet. He hasn't taken a course yet. So does it make sense right now for him? I don't know. But I did it at a time because it made sense to do it. Because I was constantly running around. I was burning gas and burning time running around to do scans and prints on last minutes, or they come in at the end. Hey, we have a signing for you in 2 days. Can you do it? Yes. But they don't have documents until 2 hours before the appointment. Okay. Now I'm in a pinch because I'm at a signing. I have to run home. Anyway, that gets stressful. I get it. But it's when you're at that point is when it makes sense to do it. Does that make sense? So I told her, I said, listen, your son hasn't done any signings yet. If he's only going to when he starts off, if he's only doing one signing every 3 days because it's just not flowing to him right away, it doesn't make sense for him to invest all this money into it. This doesn't make a lot of sense to do that. But if he's starting off, he's doing 3 or 4 signings a day starting off, hey, you know what? It might make sense for him to get this equipment. It makes sense to spend $200-$300 on a printer and $300 or $400 on a scanner. It makes sense to put another $500, $600, $700 into equipment just for the vehicle. It might make sense for him at that point. It's going to pay for itself in time. But you have to reverse engineer and kind of do the math a little bit and say, hey, does this make sense? So if you do not have a mobile office yet and you're thinking about it, well, does it make sense? Are you busy every day? Do you catch yourself kind of frantically running around to scan and print documents that come in last minute? If you find yourself in that position, then maybe it is. If you just like it because it looks cool because you saw my video with me and Mark Wills, and my mobile office van looks cool because it is, but be like, I want that same setup too. Does it make sense? I don't encourage everyone to do what I did, but it made sense for me. I make a good amount of money as a loan signing agent and as a notary. I make a good amount of money. Just the last minute requests I get pay for the monthly expense on this vehicle. And I mean, this is my office now. I mean, I write off the whole thing, but this is my office. I pull over and work. Sometimes my schedule is like, Derek, we just got 4 requests and I can't get to all of them. I'm like, all right, great. Let me pull over real quick, and hop in the back, and I'll get on the computer and let's tag team this and get these all situated. It makes sense for me, but it makes sense for me as a signing service now, and it made sense for me as a loan signing agent. It made more sense for me actually as a loan signing agent when I was doing a lot of signings. So, but even now, today I'm still doing a few a day, and last minute things come up, and I'm glad I can have people come in here, but it makes sense. Don't do it because it looks cool. Don't do it as a flex as your marketing, unless you're guaranteed to get business because of it. But do it because it makes sense to you. Don't put yourself in financial burden doing this business. Okay, this business should pay for itself. I want to say that. I tell people all the time, when you get started, it's going to be about $1,000 to $2,000 getting started, but that's not a lot to start a business. You're buying your printer and scanner and paper and pens and your commission and your stamp and just a notary bag and filling up your notary bag. Like it takes time, right? It takes money to do all this, but it should fund itself as you go. Like you should be getting paid and reinvesting it. Like you shouldn't quit your job right away to become a signing agent or a notary. Don't quit your job right away. I mean, unless you got let go, then they made the choice for you. But you can be able to do this on the side and then self-fund it. That makes sense. You shouldn't be able. This shouldn't hurt you financially. This should only help you. Being a notary signing agent or a notary public should only help you financially, not hurt you. And you should just be able to self-fund. Yeah, you got to put some money in the game in the beginning. I don't recommend getting loans to start this. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend putting this on credit cards and paying interest, unless you're the type that pays it off and you pay zero interest, unless that's the type of person you are. But yeah, you should self-fund this, and it should make sense. Every decision you make should make sense, right? Increasing your E&O insurance should make sense. Becoming a RON should make sense. Like I pay a monthly subscription to use the RON platform that I use. It should make sense that I have signings through RON every month to pay for that, or else I'm wasting money, right? I just got a CRM, client. Oh my goodness, client relationship manager. Is that what it stands for? I just lost it. I just started paying for that and getting training on that because it makes sense for me to pay that every month now. Every expense that comes up, hiring my scheduler, that makes sense to me to hire somebody to do the scheduling for me, so I'm not always at my computer all day long. It makes sense to have someone there to help me to do that, right? Every decision you make should make sense and should be financially helpful or conveniently helpful without putting you in financial burdens. Or I don't want you getting hurt financially being a notary. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So again, just to recap, if you are thinking of getting a mobile office in your vehicle, do what makes sense. Go to my earlier episodes. I believe it might be episode 2 where I talked about what you need for your mobile office. I believe it was episode 2 is in the first 3 episodes. It's definitely there, okay? So if you haven't watched or listened to that yet, go there. That will guide you where to go. But do it if it makes sense. Don't get yourself in a financial hardship. All right? Because you are a peak signing agent. And you're going to make lots of money. Manifest that. Tell yourself you are going to make lots of money as a notary, as a loan signing agent, as a trust delivery agent, okay? Tell yourself that you are going to do that and let it manifest itself for you because you and your family deserve it. All right. And I'll catch you on the next episode. If you haven't yet, it greatly helps if you subscribe, follow, and share the podcast. Share the episodes. If you feel like an episode helped you, impacted you, please share that on social media. Other signing agents, other notaries, please share that. Talk to you later.